Hello, everybody. Stephen Ruderman here with your over 24 hours late Insomniac Lunatic Fringe opening day Giants postgame show. Well, I'm just going to be blunt. In the premier game of the 2026 Major League Baseball season, the debut of Major League Baseball on Netflix, an incredible pitching matchup between Logan Webb and Max Fried, and baseball history, Tony Vitello, the first man to go straight from being a college head coach to a major league manager. His first game, making his official major league debut in a game between two storied franchises and the Giants and the Yankees. The Giants just completely and utterly shat the bed last night and were shut out 7-0 and only had 3 hits. It was a beautiful night for baseball. And it was really cool to be at the premiere game of a regular season. I have never been to one of those in person. That was pretty surreal. And just with the crowd there and how energetic they were and the beautiful weather at Oracle Park, it just felt like it was going to be a good night for the Giants. And the first inning, we had every reason to believe that. Logan Webb sets down the Yankees 1-2-3. Luis Arias up against Max Fried. Draws a 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the first. With 1 out, Rafael Devers dumps a jam shot into center field. Runners at first and third, 1 out. And here you have the Giants, who are really working hard on getting guys on, moving them over, getting them in, making adjustments mid at bat, going the opposite way, you name it. They were finally doing this at the start of last year after many years under Farhan of trying to hit the 2 million run homer. And then for whatever reason, last May, the Giants got home run happy again, and a 24-14 start turned into an 81-81 finish. Well, unfortunately, one of the guys who is still home run happy, Willie Adames, was at the plate. And Buster Posey has talked about how there's going to be a mix of getting guys on over and in and the guys who are going to hit the home run. And I get it. That situation itself was not a bad time for Adames to get a hold of one and send the crowd into a frenzy with a bomb into left center field to put the Giants up 3-0. But when you're at 2 strikes, you make an adjustment, especially in that situation. You're in the bottom of the first. You got runners at first and third with 1 out. Just a base hit, scores a run. Hell, right center, Triple's alley was completely wide open. Shoot 1 out into Triple's alley, 2 runs, you're standing at third. Well, 2 strikes, Adames still trying to hit the 2 gazillion run home run, and he strikes out swinging. And Jung-Hoo Lee bounces out sharply to second. At least Lee's still trying to put the ball in play for the most part, but I've seen him try and swing up a little bit, which I don't like. And the Giants waste a golden opportunity. And then just like that, the Yankees put up a big, fat 5 spot off Logan Webb in the top of the second inning. And from there, the game was pretty much over. Logan Webb really couldn't settle back down. He ends up giving up 7 runs over 5 innings, 6 of them earned. You could say one of the good things was he struck Aaron Judge out 3 times, the final of which got him his 1,000th career strikeout. Judge 0 for 5 on the night with the golden sombrero in total. So that's the good news for Webb, but just a night to forget for Webb and the Giants. He looked great in the top of the first, but after the Yankees got to him for 5 in the second, he just couldn't settle down. And look, this was his 5th straight opening day start, and he'd given up, 10 runs in his previous 4 opening day starts combined? I mean, he gave up the home run to Judge when the Giants opened against the Yankees in New York back in 2023. That wasn't his greatest start, but it was far from his worst. And he had a decent start last year in Cincinnati. But this one, man, this was one to forget for Logan Webb. And you got to just tip your hat to Max Fried. The Giants had him on the ropes in the bottom of the first inning. They couldn't get to him. And from there, he was just unhittable. He goes 6 1/3 in total. Giants couldn't get to the Yankees bullpen either. And our old friend Camille Duvall and his gumpy shoulders came in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Giants were able to get a run to third against him, but that would be it. Duvall's got he's got a case of Jonathan Sanchez syndrome. He lets little things get to him. And he's also got an attitude problem, which Sanchez, for the most part, did not have. You could see the gumpy shoulders when he was pitching last night. And look, you can't blame him. This is a guy who just 3 years ago was an all-star closer. Just 8 months ago was a closer. And here he is now coming in for his first appearance of the season. Not just his first appearance of the season, but against his former team. And he's doing so in a maintenance outing. I get it that that's not easy for Camilo. But you just can't go out and make it clear that you have no interest in pitching. And Camilo's got talent, but he's a massive basket case, like I am. And it showed why Buster Posey was absolutely right trading him away. But anyway, it was embarrassing. The Giants shat the bed. It was an embarrassing performance. And it's not changing my opinion of the season. I officially predicted 84 and 78. I think Tony Vitello's going to have the Billy Martin effect. The Giants have one of the best overall offenses in the league. Maybe, top 10. They have a solid offense top to bottom in the lineup. But they have one of the worst pitching staffs, easily bottom 5 in all baseball. You got Logan Webb. You got Robbie Ray top the rotation and no one else. And it just sucks that we open the season like this, and we open the season with one of our two solid pitchers getting lit up the way he did. And of course, wasting what was such a golden opportunity in the bottom of the first. And if all Adames had to do there was make a damn 2-strike adjustment, go just a base hit to left center, or shoot one into triples alley and right center, you got 2 runs on the board. That could have made things so much different. And I don't know if perhaps the Yankees still win the game, but just wasting that opportunity like that. And then the Yankees immediately responding with a 5-run top of the second inning. That just completely took the wind out of the sails of the Giants and the fans at Oracle Park. And it just sucks that we had to open the season that way. And as I said, I think 77 wins at the very least, 84 wins at the very most. It's going to be another 500-ish season. They've got a really good, solid offense, really bad pitching. It's going to make for their 5th straight mediocre season, but I feel like this team may be a little more fun to watch than the last 4 years, especially with Tony Vitello at the helm. Players are talking about how much fun they're having coming to the park and how much fun Tony Vitello makes it. But with the lack of pitching the Giants have, the offense is going to have to be as consistent as they can be, and they cannot, under any circumstances, at any point throughout the season, get home run happy. And I am scared about these first 13 games. 3 against the Yankees, 3 in San Diego, 4 against the Mets, 3 against the Phillies. I mean, I legitimately fear they may be 3-10 after their April 8th getaway game against the Phillies at Oracle Park. I really am. I desperately don't want that to be the case, but you're facing such good teams out of the gate like this. And the Giants faced some good teams out of the gate last year, but overall, just roster-wise, the team was much better last year. That's what makes last year so frustrating, was that last year's team was actually not that bad in general, but they just got home run happy. It was a team that was going to, that was built for 1 year. Let's be honest. But it was a much better team top to bottom. Hitting wasn't as good, but you had one of the best bullpens in the game throughout the first 4 months of the season before Duvall and Tyler Rogers were dealt. You had a really solid starting rotation. And now fast forward to this year, offense is better, but the pitching. And yes, I've said it before, Buster's basically rebuilding and not telling anyone, though Sam Lubman, 95.7, 6 to 10, Monday through Friday. He's the morning producer of the Morning Roast, 6 to 10 weekdays, Monday through Friday on 95.7 The Game. He preferred to call it a retooling. I think he's probably right about that. And it's kind of like how the great season of 2021 was the worst thing for this organization. The collapse of last year was really the best thing for this organization. It made him realize he had to go in a different direction instead of going all out with the current crop he had. And even though they were a good team last year, it was a team that was kind of a veteran team. and was probably going to carry you through anywhere between 1 to 3 years at most. Anyway, with the retooling, he's built. It is clear that the real long-term focus right now is the farm system. But the good news is he's also trying to compete in the short run while he builds the farm system. Build the farm system in a new core for 2029 and beyond and compete the next 3 years, 2026, 2027, 2028. But Buster could have done so much more on the pitching front this offseason. As great of a job as Buster did in the offseason with getting Luis Arias and Harrison Bader, and those are two great acquisitions. Like offensively, I think Posey had a terrific offseason, A+ in terms of the offensive acquisitions of Luis Arias and Harrison Bader, but a big fat F in terms of pitching. You had Zach Gallen. You had Brandon Woodruff on the market. You had some other good pitchers on the market. And the Giants couldn't be bothered to try and make a signing for it. As Kyle Foster's here says, and Kyle, happy opening day, happy new year. The Giants were rough. Larry Bear should spend more money. I don't blame Buster if Bear/Johnson don't want to spend the money for premium pitching. I don't know if that was it. But as I mentioned, you had a lot of good pitchers on the market. I wasn't crazy about Framber Valdez after the incident he had in Houston last September. But you had Zach Gallen, you had Dylan Cease on the market. You had some solid pitchers. And Buster couldn't pull the trigger. And I'm not saying this out of disrespect to the two guys he did sign, and Tyler Mahle and Adrian Hauser, but it's like if those are your third and fourth starters, you're not in good shape. Mahle didn't even get 100 innings last year. And granted, Mahle and Hauser both had excellent springs, which is pretty damn impressive considering, one, it is the desert and the ball carries down there, and two, it was a hot March for Arizona, very hot March for Arizona standards. But this is the regular season. He was facing a lot of minor league and reserve guys. A lot of the big guys around the game were gone during March at the World Baseball Classic, and the regular season's a whole different animal. I don't trust that Mahle and Hauser are going to be able to carry the back end of the rotation. And so my point being is with how weak this pitching, and easily they're probably got anywhere between the fourth to sixth or seventh worst, I would say fourth to sixth worst pitching staff in all of baseball from rotation to bullpen. With how weak the Giants pitching is, we cannot afford to have this offense become home run happy. That just cannot happen. And I get it. Throughout the course of a 162 game seasons, players and even offenses as a whole, even the best offenses, are going to go into slumps. I get that. But if we're doing this right out of the gate and we're seeing guys immediately getting home run happy again, that's going to lead to some major problems as the season goes along. So to make up for the lack of pitching, the Giants have to stick to script when it comes to getting guys on over and in. And I get it that guys like Adames and Devers are more power guys. But despite that, they can still make adjustments with two strikes. And it was unacceptable for Willy Adames to be trying to swing for his heels there on two strikes. He needs to be making a two-strike adjustment there. It was a very 2025-ish inning for the Giants. And it's just it's just the worst way to start the next season. It's the worst way to start things here in 2026. You don't want to see it start like that. And it was a frustrating loss. Best you can do now is go get them, well, today, because it's early now, Friday morning. Today, it's interesting. The Giants are going to have their official home opener. This is a little interesting. And they're doing so. At first, I thought it was kind of oh, God, this is so the Giants. This is so Larry Bear. But after People had to witness the garbage that was Netflix the other night. I can't say I blame them. So, the premiere game of the regular season being on Netflix is already bad enough because fans throughout the baseball and especially fans of the two teams, the Giants and Yankees, because of the fact that they do not have Netflix, a lot of them are not going to have Netflix. They're going to be shit out of luck and not be able to watch their team's first game of the season. And other baseball fans were not able to watch the premiere game of the 2026 regular season. So that part was bad enough. But at the end of the day, because I was fortunate to get to be there, so I didn't have to watch it on Netflix. But at the end of the day, the people who are shut out of luck, may have actually been the lucky ones. So I went back and rewatched when I got back last night, and I was watching the pregame show, and you had, I mean, some good personalities on the pregame show. You had Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols, and they know their stuff. Anthony Rizzo was but they're openly talking about how like they were trying to make it seem as if it was a movie. And they had they had an ex-football player interviewing people on the field and out in McCovey Cove. They had like a comedian going around, and it was marketed more as an event, more as a movie than what it was supposed to be, a baseball game. Now, the good news that I can report was being there in person, it certainly felt like a baseball game. But for the poor schmucks who had to watch it on Netflix, I feel your pain. So they were billing it out to be a movie, and they were treating it like a fucking red carpet event. And then you have Pence and CC Sabathia. Hunter Pence, if anyone has been watching Giants games the last few years, is a fantastic color guy. He's got personality, he's funny, he's entertaining, and even with some good talent on the air, they really managed to make it look bad. The score bug was weird, and seeing it on the monitors at the stadium, it made me forget the Giants were no longer playing the Sultanes de Monterrey, or Sultanes de Monterrey, however you say it. Sultanes de Monterrey. There we go. I could say it in more correct Latin pronunciation. I think I got it right there. It was an embarrassment. With the digital ads behind home plate, the mixing in with the being in the shade while the game was being filmed out from the sunlight in center field, that made for some really awful video quality. Play everyone besides the ads getting kind of blurred out. It used to be back in the day that they would have the green when they had the behind home plate. Teams have been doing this since the 90s. The Tigers were the first to do this in 93. You have the ads behind the home plate that scroll. Over the last few years, teams have started replacing that with screens that, I mean, they look the same, but they're just screens. And that makes it easier for national telecasts, because it used to be for national telecasts is they would put green screen over, those ads and then advertise their things, because the ads but were behind there were, stuff for local, it's local stuff or companies, corporations that the teams had deals with. So with the screen that they can use in its place, you don't need the green screen. And I went and took a walk out into center field in the stands in the second inning while the Yankees were putting up their 5 spot, because the press box was pretty jam-packed, and I took in a good chunk of the game from the stands. And they actually were using the digital ads, but for still whatever reason, maybe it had to do with the fact that it was in the home plate area was in the shade, but being filmed from the sun in center field, where the sun was splashing all over the place. Like, it just seemed like everyone from the grass to the field, just everything besides the ads was like, I don't want to say blurred out, but Kyle, you know what I'm talking about here. Like, they were like dimmed, and the ads just completely stood out above everything else. It was disgusting, and it was an embarrassing way, not just for the Giants to open the season with their horrendous 7-0 loss, but for Major League Baseball to open the season and for Netflix to start their coverage on Major League Baseball. So just wanted to get my 2 cents out on that one. Very corporate. It's very corporate. And it was watching the people who were doing it, it was so fake. It was so phony. It was corporate, making it out to be a movie. It's a baseball game. Treat it like one. And then they brought in some actor. ABS, if you're right, you keep your challenge. ABS, which is sponsored by, wait for it, T-Mobile. It's all corporate. All of this. Netflix, the ads on the jerseys, the ads on the outfield walls, the ads that stood out behind the plate last night, the analytics, the ABS, it is all corporate. It is all stuff that 27 billionaire owners and three worth hundreds of millions of dollars millionaire owners want to make money. But speaking of ABS, I was surprised that a lot of the old umpires who were still around stuck around with ABS. I thought for sure they'd hang it up, especially the man who had the stick for the opener, Bill Miller, one of the best umpires in the game. And Bill Miller gave me real faith that, we can get through this travesty. Because Bill Miller was nails last night. Only one challenge came in the top of the fourth inning, and the call was confirmed. Atta babe, Bill. Bill Miller was fucking fantastic behind the plate last night. He was nails. And it increased my faith in humanity somewhat, saying, you know what? These old school guys, they're going to hold their own. They're going to still do a good job with ABS. The Phillies-Rangers game today, James Hoy, who had the plate in that game, another one of the best umpires in the game. Same thing. One challenge confirmed. Chris Guccione, another one of the best umpires. He was behind the plate for the Cardinals, Rays, in St. Louis today, or shall we say yesterday. When I was watching in the ninth, only one challenge, though that one was overturned. And go figure, it was the ninth inning. There were two more. One confirmed, the other overturned. Guys are going to challenge more in the ninth inning. So I get that. But looking at those three umpires, they were both really good behind the plate in their regular season ABS debuts. So that was encouraging to see. So the Giants will have their regular home opener today, and it will be more Giantsy. Now, the players did line up. It was only the manager and starters everyone lined up, but it was only the managers and the starters that were announced for Thursday, how it's going to work, or on Wednesday, how it's going to work for the Giants. Today is the manager and starters will be announced for the Yankees, and then everyone who's on the line will be announced for the Giants, from the trainers, clubhouse people, coaches, reserves, other relief pitchers, Tony Vitello, and the lineup. And it'll be more Giants theme. I mean, you actually had Dusty Baker and Bruce Bochy throw out the first pitch. The first pitch is on Wednesday. That was really cool. Bruce Bochy returning to the Giants organization after his 3-year stint with the Rangers, and I'd probably say greater than 50% chance his managerial days are over, but I wouldn't rule out Bochy getting one last shot elsewhere. And I was actually surprised. I thought we would have some like MLB themed first pitch, but having it be Bochy and Dusty was pretty cool. Now with the home opener, the official home opener being today, it's going to be a lot more Giantsy themed. One of the cool things, and if people see my new Instagram picture, I was fortunate enough to get to wear a flower, and people think, oh, flowers. The Giants employees have been wearing, broadcasters, whatever, they've been wearing flowers on the home opener since forever. This actually goes back to the late 80s. A season ticket holder who either owned a flower shop or was a grower would supply flowers to the ushers and employees for every game. I mean, for home opener every year. And in 2024, they started handing them out to members of the media. And I got one. They're hard to put in, but here is the picture of me with it. I've got the green sweater I'm wearing here, the same hat, pretty much same everything, with the flower on the lapel. And that was a good picture, and it's cool that I got to wear one of those. And they're going to hand out pins to the fans today with the pin of the flower, so not the actual flower. But I was actually surprised they did the flower for the Netflix opener. There'll be flowers again today, and I'm sure I'll get to wear another one. But that was kind of cool. But we saw Dusty and Bruce Bochy throw out the first pitches for the Netflix opener. I wonder who'll throw out the first pitch today. And it will be a lot more Giants themed. I will actually say this. I thought it was kind of cool that they had the Giants players come through the cable car out onto the field. That was kind of cool. But just the way it was just so horribly executed. Clean that shit up and present it like an actual baseball game and make it accessible to everyone. And I don't have a problem with it being on Netflix. Anyway, Robbie Ray is going to take the ball for the Giants game 2 today. It's March 27th, so it's hardly a must-win game. And as I've said, I could see this team starting off 3-10 with the schedule they have over the first 2 weeks. But a win today, a stop job today, the offense waking up today, that would all be really nice. It's going to be another spectacular day at Oracle Park. Bring the bats out. Now we're going to be up against another good pitcher in Cam Schlittler. But let's do a better job today. Let's make some more two-strike adjustments. Let's do all that good stuff today, and maybe the Giants can pull one out. All right. Thanks for tolerating me here in the middle of the night. Kyle Foster says it's grunt time. I'd like to thank Kyle for contributing in the comments. Kyle Foster, he is the founder, owner, and operator of Napa Sports News, napasportsnews.com. Subscriptions are being offered. For Kyle Foster, I'm Stephen Rubin. Hope you enjoyed my musings, my ramblings on this more than 24 hours late Insomniac Lunatic Fringe Giants opening day post-game show. Thanks for listening. Have a good night, and I'll see you all at the park later today.